the Twin Cities. And thank you, YouTubers, my YouTube family, for tuning in every week around the world. And then my Facebook family as well. Tonight, we have a very intellectual, he's a genius. You gotta give
Are you talking about Tim or are you talking about me?
I'm talking about you.
Oh, okay, all right.
You is a genius, and he's running for CD 5th Ward.
I'm here for you.
Okay, U.S. Congressman. And
Tim.
he's no stranger to this TV show.
Okay, I'm not.
He's been on at least about 15 times last year when he was running against his opponent. And now he is back.
All right.
Please welcome Frank Drake, the Drake. Yay!
Thank you, TV Land. I'm here for you. I see the homelessness. I see the housing problems. I see our inner cities are decaying and no one cares. And I'm here for you. We are going to declare that we are neutral on any issues that regard the federal government in our cities so that we can get the aid that we need.
All right.
All right. Next, we'll have
Tim.
his advisor. He's very smart as well.
Tim.
And I met him last year when we was doing the other, campaign and whatnot. And he's been right there to give Frank his support. And we
Absolutely.
appreciate for him being on the show. Please welcome Tim. Yay,
Nice to meet you.
Tim.
I want to say hello to everybody. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, tell your friends about us. This is the best show going today, and you need to tell everyone about it.
All right. Now.
All right.
Tim was born and raised in Minneapolis. And
yeah.
he's a prolific YouTuber, and he's going to be on MTM starting today.
Okay. And then we have my other half.
Brother Love. God bless
Brother
you.
Love
To meet you.
and I have been together since 2001, and he's been on TV since 2001. And he's a fantastic community activist, and everybody know him for his advocacy for the homelessness. And then he know how to organize and put things together, and that's why I love him, because I do love intelligent people. Well, I don't even have to say please welcome, because he's my
Thank you,
sidekick.
television.
Brother Love.
Thank you, television audience.
Absolutely.
Now, before we go any further, like one of the things like Frank just got to mentioning about homelessness, and one of the things that I'm supporting him because of the fact that he have a great deal of issues that he's facing, but one of the things that he's taken on hand is the UD amnesty bill. Now, what causes homelessness? People lose their jobs, businesses close up and they lose their jobs, people get fired and lose their job. But the real serpent and demon as far as homelessness is concerned is these UDs. If you get a UD, you can't get an apartment for 7 to 10 years. And I think this is ludicrous. Punishing people for 7 to 10 years. It may not have been their fault that they got fired. It wasn't their fault that the business closed up and they couldn't pay rent. So you're going to punish them 7 to 10 years, and this is unjust. And this is one of the things that I'm willing and able to fight for, because I've been fighting for this UD amnesty bill for almost 20 years. And yet and still, we get before the House, we haven't been able to get it passed because of the fact that we don't have the support of the people who really need this UD amnesty bill passed. Now, all of you who have a UD, if you know somebody who have a UD, have them to call. Patrice will give you the number, and see, when you vote for Frank, you voting
In the primary.
in the primary.
August
and
14th.
August the 14th, and he is going to be fighting for you.
That's right.
So that you can not have to be punished for 7 to 10 years because you got laid off your job.
Okay, I want to say this real quick, and then I'm going to give it to Frank. And because I'm going to give you my phone number throughout this time. 763-703-0546, 763-703-0546. Go get your ink pen and your paper, and the next time we do it, you can write it down. Now, dealing with these UDs, now Frank, now most of the people that got these UDs, sorry to say, are black people.
Of course.
And the north side.
Right.
Okay. So now I'm gonna tell you all, if you sick of getting those UDs, you might have got into it with your landlord. He might try to rap to you and you didn't return the favor, and you're gonna get UD. You might say your toilet is broke, and because he don't wanna hire a plumber, well then he gonna tell you, you gotta get out. And then, listen, in the wintertime, you know, we got to have that furnace running. So if the furnace is real old fashioned, like made in the 60s, and he too trifling to get you a new furnace, and then you complain to him, guess what? He'll go downtown, file the DUD before you even get a chance to go down there. And then you still got the UD on you, and it's not your fault. My sisters and brothers, North Side, listen, we represent you, okay? And South Side too. We represent all people, but most of the people over there have went through this mess, okay? Now, are you sick of going through this? Are you sick of taking those raggedy apartments that the landlords is not going to fix up?
Sure
But
ain't.
you can't live in something decent like Brooklyn Center, Brooklyn Park. You can't do that because you got UDs, okay? You can't live in a diner, you know, in Richfield and Plymouth. 'cause you got
Patrice,
those
let me
UDs.
interject this. You know,
Go ahead.
and one of the worst things is the fact that you have to fill out application and pay an application fee
There you go.
10 and 15 different times sometimes.
And they already know which person they're gonna get the application to, but they let 20 people fill out an application, $40 or $50, and they already know who they go, and then you done lost your money, and that's gonna be too bad. Now, if you're sick of living like this, well, you better vote. I'm telling you right now, it will be Frank Drake.
That's right.
Anybody else know
Frank
did
Drake
nothing
for
about it?
Congress.
Nobody else did anything about it, because
Sure
if
didn't.
they did throughout these years, it wouldn't be. It would
Sure
be changed.
wouldn't, because
so
I
now,
put this together
why don't you
years
give him
ago.
a chance?
Give
Now,
Frank a chance.
Let's give Frank a chance. Go
If
ahead,
you know
Frank.
somebody who got a UD, have
you,
them to
Pat.
call that number that Patrice gave.
Thank you, Brother Love. Okay, first off, on this amnesty, we are going to make it blanket from basically 1990, and if you're a felon, you're included. If you've been, if we're going to decriminalize marijuana, we're going to make amnesty the way for
The
these
UD
UDs.
amnesty bill.
And we're going to make it across the entire CD5, so you can live anywhere. You shouldn't be forced to live just because that's the only place that will give you a
They'll
place.
give you a
should
place.
live anywhere you want. And you look at people that come to this country, they pick nice places so their kids can get a good school. And
Sure
that should
do.
be the way it is.
They sure do.
Okay, I want to introduce Tim, because Tim is a brilliant mind, and he can talk for hours, but I want him to talk about decriminalizing marijuana, because that's big and foremost to our campaign.
I was just out in Denver doing some research. Turns out it works very well. You got a wide variety of marijuana. Things are safe, they're legal, and the Congress is beginning to, and with Frank's help, we will legalize it at the federal level. That means you can use credit cards. It's not going to be a cash-based business. It would be legal to buy weed in Denver and drive it back here, or to have it in Minnesota. Basically, the majority of the American population has used marijuana. I think, and I think Frank feels, that it's inappropriate to criminalize more than 70% of the American population. You think about white, black, gay, straight, doesn't matter. Who hasn't smoked weed once in their life?
All right
Now,
now.
if we all went to jail for that, if we all had that on a record, we'd have employment issues, we'd have problems. We know that most of those issues stay in the black community because of disproportionate prosecution. And it's an extremely negative and unfair thing.
Yes, it is.
We're never going to fix that if marijuana is going to be illegal, because what, everyone's just going to quit today? That's never happened. So we need to, the laws need to reflect our society, which means if more than 50% of the people have done it, it should probably be legal. And marijuana, 85% of the people in the country at least smoked one joint in their lives? And what, you're gonna put that on everybody's record? Denver, Colorado is a great example. They legalized it. They're making money off of it. They've got dispensaries. It's being used legally. Nobody's getting shot.
It's tourism.
Yeah, and some people do have an issue in the fact that because the federal government won't make a decision, it's still cash. So they got to do Bitcoin or they got to do cash. That means these places are high security. I mean, they got people with machine guns because they're sitting on $50, $100, $200,000 worth of cash, along with $300,000 worth of weed. Now, if they're electronic, you take a credit card, boom, there's no cash in the place, there's less chances of anybody getting hurt. That's the way it should be, and that's what will happen when it's decriminalized at the federal level. Now, let's talk about homelessness in Minneapolis. We know we got a homeless problem.
Yes, we do.
You go down 55, you get off 94 and go down 55, you got people living alongside 55 off 94. There's just a tent city going on there. One of the reasons is we got plenty of housing. You can't drive around the city and not see an apartment building go up. Go 5 miles in any direction, you'll see 5 new apartment buildings up.
Right.
Why aren't these people that have homes? You got the UD.
The UDs.
People make mistakes. It's just about forgiveness.
You know, brother love, mother love, we take this money that's being spent overseas. I will not fund these foreign wars any longer. We bring it back, we refurbish these houses, we put in new windows, we put in a new boiler, we fix these grand homes, these 3-story homes, and if they're not repairable, we tear them down and we put up a modular home that is functional and is super insulated, and maybe it has solar on the roof.
And you know what though? I'm gonna tell you something. Our government, they I don't understand them because they spend so much money chasing people with marijuana, and when it should be legal anyway, because marijuana do more good than bad. Because I've known people who's had ailments and they smoke marijuana and shoot, and their ailments, it may not go completely away, but it subsides for a certain period of time. And the same amount of money that the government and the city officials and stuff is using to track down these people who selling marijuana, they can use that same money to for something else more positive, and especially when this marijuana is decriminalized.
They take the CBD oil, which they get from Holland, and it's good for seizures, it's good for all sorts of ailments, arthritis, and has none of the THC. So there's a lot of benefits from, and then you talk about clothing, you know, a lot of rugs and some of the strongest fibers
From
are
hemp.
hemp.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? This is what most people don't know. As a nurse, 35 years, and I worked at this nursing home, I used to give my patients Marigold. That is marijuana in a pill.
What?
And let me tell you what year it was. It was 2004.
And
And
how did,
that's right, but they'll tell you that
did they
you
like
can't
it?
smoke it.
Did they like it?
Well, it helped them. They wasn't hurting.
Okay.
I had 2 patients that I would give, because I didn't know what it was, you know. And then I asked my supervisor, I said, what is this? I ain't never marijuana. Now, it was in a narcotic box. Oh, they said, it's marijuana. I said, get out of here. But yet, you know, if you're sick, you know, in the hospital world, you could take it.
Right.
But you better not take it on the streets unless, you know, Washington, I think the state of Washington, and
Seattle, Washington.
and what, Colorado, and I think California.
Denver, Colorado.
Okay, they can do it. Okay, but now you better not be doing it, and it does help them. They won't have the pain, like you mentioned, the arthritis.
Right, yes.
And somebody said help your blood pressure.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
do.
And see, now the reason why the government don't want you to do it because they can't get no taxes off of it. I'm sure they paying taxes in those states, but guess what? They're out of the red. Colorado is not in what they in the black, right?
Yeah.
Oh, they make a ton.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, a couple of things on marijuana. The U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights were written on hemp paper. George Washington, the founding father, he was a big marijuana grower. I borrowed the book from the library when I was 12, and I never returned his diary. Sorry about that. But one year he was absolutely miserable. His hemp crop failed because the weather turned bad at harvest time. I mean, George Washington was crying over his hemp crop. He grew enough hemp to get life. And now, 250 years later, you got people being arrested for what?
Going to jail.
Yeah, going to jail. He smoked it. He turned it into rope. He turned it into paper. Our founding documents are all on pot paper. And if you got caught with that stuff now, or you were trying to make, the officer, I was trying to make pot paper, put your hands behind your back, you're going to jail. It's such a waste of time. It's just designed to tear our society apart. It'd be one thing if people obeyed the marijuana laws, but I think we've had them long enough to realize they don't work. They're not going to work. So let's deal with reality, legalize it, and let people in a free society do what they freely want to do. If you want to smoke weed, do. If you don't, well, don't.
All right now.
Just that simple.
Yeah, take prohibition. We banned alcohol,
Exactly.
and it turned into a disaster, disrespect for the law, unequal prosecutions, dead people all over in the street. Now alcohol is legal. I want to stay sober, I stay away from the bar. I want to have a beer, I go to the bar. Pretty fair. There's a lot of sober people in America. You ever see anybody dragged into a bar and have beer poured down their throat against their will? You got to go in and pay some money.
That's
Because
right.
the beer ain't free and the weed ain't going to be free. You have to choose to use it, and if you're an adult, that's a free society.
That's right.
And that's what we want. We're getting away from that. We're becoming this society that our politicians are dictating our freedom.
Yes.
We used to be, as Democrats, we used to be against the war. We used to be against the police state, which now the DNC is running the police state. They hired 57 candidates to run in congressional elections this year that are former CIA operatives. And these are people that, well, I don't want to say his name because he's running for a different office.
Well, don't say it.
I won't, but anyway, these are people that it's
Already
already
known.
known and it's out there. And if TV Land knew that CIA operatives are running in our government to kind of steer it a certain direction, I think you'd be very upset.
And they've been doing it for a while, because CIA is all over the world. Sure. They're not just in this country, but all over
And ain't
the
nothing you
world.
can do about it anyway. So now, with the going back to the homeless, yeah. So we don't want it to get out of control. San Francisco is the #1 of the homeless. #1, San Francisco. We don't want Minneapolis to be
Another San
#2,
Francisco.
You know.
We
we got to
wanna-
do something about this, and we got to do it now.
We want to go a different path. We want to take care of our people, our citizens, and we want to make sure that they have a shelter. And maybe we create stuff like under the bridge along 94. Maybe that could be a city where, an area where people can clean up, get a meal, and when it's super cold, that's where they know that that's their place.
Yes.
Well, you know what though? Now, like in Portland, Oregon, like there's a homeless problem out there too. But from what I understand, they're building stuff up for the homeless people, but they don't have the UDs terrorizing them like they terrorize people here. Like the landlords here, if they want to, they could threaten a girl if she don't become intimate with him. He could say, "Well, I'm gonna give you a UD, and
Or
you
I'll
ain't
raise
gonna-
your rent."
Yeah, and you ain't never gonna be able to get a place."
Another thing is, is Washington, the state Washington, California, and Minnesota. There's 3 states that got the UDs. Okay, so that's another thing you just mentioned, raising the rent. When will it end, TV? This
Yeah.
is the 3rd highest rent in the nation. New York, California, and Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Now let me tell you, and it keep going up. It needs to be a cap on it, and they need to cut down. What do they want to do? I don't think they want poor people to live in the state.
You know what the simple solution is, Pat?
What?
You take all the education, you put it at the federal level, and you say that you cannot raise taxes to fund education. Because every alternate year, last year, they've been doing it for the last 5 years, we want to raise money for education, we want to raise money for our schools. Well, if you make that a federal program and take it away from the cities that they cannot raise taxes, taxes would stay flat or maybe even go down.
But they got to do something about the home. That's why some people is also is homeless. They can't afford to pay no 1 bedroom $5,900, 2 bedrooms $1,100, $1,150. They just can't do it. So you can have you a home, you know.
There are
but-
people that have lived in their home 30 years that are paying close to what they paid for their house. Now you might say, oh, they got in for $25,000. Well, you know, that was still a lot of money back then. And so there was a seller that wanted to sell, and they paid the higher interest rate. Maybe it was 12 or 13% at that time. And now we're at 5% or less, so you can still buy a home. And we talked about this last week. Home ownership is the best option if you live in this 5th CD. You don't have anyone. It's a vehicle to transfer wealth to your heirs. It's a vehicle to move up in society.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just the best option for people in CD5.
And talking about, you know, homelessness and helping people, part of Frank's platform that I participated in is we want to double the income caps on welfare, so that if you're at 33,000 and you get offered a job, you don't lose your housing assistance, your medical assistance, your food stamp assistance.
Exactly right.
33,000 is not enough money for a woman with kids to start losing her benefits. Part two, now it's household income. So if you're a woman with kids and you got a working man, maybe it's the baby daddy, maybe it's your husband, maybe it's your brother, maybe it's your friend, that household income kicks her off all of her benefits. That's not how we bring families together. They're going off about taking families apart down at the border. We take families apart every day throughout this country by telling somebody, if you got $33,001 coming in, you lose your benefits for you and your kid. Well, I better be a poor single mother then. Well, option two, what if we just make it her income, so she can live with a working man, she can have the help with the kids, she can have somebody there for her, and maybe it's a man, maybe it's a woman, we don't care.
Partner, it could be anybody.
Second income. But life's hard. Life's also hard when
Yes,
you're
it
lonely
is.
with kids and broke. So welfare tries to keep you that way.
That's right.
And here's the bad part of the program started as help with women's and orphans. So it's supposed to help a widow and an orphan. So as soon as you get that working man in the house, well, you're not a widow no more.
Yeah.
You're on the street. That puts people on the street. That makes people pass up job opportunities, and it makes them not want to be. You want to be in a relationship with somebody. Everyone want to be in a relationship with somebody with a job.
Everybody needs somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're on welfare, you can't have somebody in the house who's also got a job and you have a job. You're over 33,000 right there. And we know that tears families apart. And that's something we want to bring families together. Whatever your family looks like, it don't matter. You want them, they want you, and welfare shouldn't be a consideration in any way, shape, or form.
Well, you know, it's 5 years anyway. So if you go over your 5 years, you can't get nothing anyway. You know, remember Bill Clinton?
That's still 5 years alone.
Yeah, Bill Clinton, the welfare to work, remember that? 5 years. And I know people that did their 5 years, they can't get nothing, see?
Right.
And they should have went on and worked, see? Now 5 years, I would, if I was on it, but I'm not. But if I was on it, I would make the best of my job, and I'll keep on until I couldn't work. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That would be a emergency route. It wouldn't be because I'm too lazy to get up and get a job, you know, and want to look at TV and drink all day and all like that. It would be because
Well, there ain't nothing wrong with what you
it'd be a
said. There ain't nothing
necessity.
wrong with having a drink all day.
Well, you shouldn't drink all day. That's what your life gonna be. Living in a raggedy place, drinking yourself to death, and that's gonna be it. And whose fault is it? Is that's what you get for being like that. Or you could be productive. You get your education, because I'm a firm believer in education.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it could be vocational education.
It could be vocational,
Yeah, you
or
are
it
a
could
nurse.
be regular. I'm a nurse, and I'm a teacher, and I got a master's degree.
Right.
See, now I'm a firm believer of education. Okay, and not only that, you could be productive in society.
Yeah.
Now, you could drink sometimes, because I drink, but I'm not drinking every day. You know what I'm saying? I know what I have to do with my life, you know, and I like to go out and dance and have a nice time.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you
but,
guys are-
But you got to put your priorities, you know what I'm saying?
Perspective.
In perspective. What you got to say about that, Frank?
Well, you know, I enjoy.
He can't
I
dance.
enjoy a beer. I play volleyball every Tuesday, and we play till 10, and then someone brings beer, and it's great. It's
That's
a
nice.
little church gymnasium, but it's just something that's affordable to me, and I like doing it, and I've been doing it for now, let's say 10 years, and it's here in the 5th CD. But what I wanted to say is, we want to offer skills to anyone that's not doing anything right now, where they can learn a skill.
Yeah.
TV repair, any automotive repair, woodworking, electrical, plumbing, heating, solar. You'd be an apprentice in 6 weeks, and then at the end of the 6 weeks, there'd be people lined up to hire you. You would be working on your resume, and you would say, I have completed this program,
Yes.
It started here in Minneapolis, but I want it to go across the whole United States because I think it's necessary in our inner cities. And heck, if they have to drive one community over to work, that's not the end of the world. We have public transportation, we have cars, we have a bike. I mean, we're a mobile society.
True that.
Lewis King of Summit Academy have a great program. He's been doing this for years.
Summit.
He had the 101 hats, construction, so he'll, teach them. Well, he don't, but he hired people to teach them,
Yep.
Do construction work. And when they get out, they got that certificate,
Right.
they get them a job. He also had a nurses aid program over there. So, when they get out, they get them a job. So vocation is very important because as when I went to LPN school, on 30 night, Chicago is 30 night on 1 State Street, Dawson Skills Center. Okay, that was vocation. LPN is a vocation. The RN is not the vocation. You see what I'm saying? Because LPN is only 14 months and you're done. And you get a job anywhere in the United States. So that's important, to get a skill.
Right.
Something that you like. Because if you don't like it, you're not going to stay at the job no way. So you got to be sure,
The service economy, it can be very profitable, but it's very overrated. It's really only the top 20% that are successful. And if you don't strive to be in the top 20%, it's a hard road.
And you should start when you're young, too.
But you could be in any vocational skill, and you're going to make $30 to $50 to $80 an hour, depending upon if you're a heating contractor and it's 95 out there. Well, you might be making 125 as double time.
Yeah, yes.
Remember, when you pick a career, I think the government should help on this. Figure out what the average person makes once they actually do it. Because a lot of people get degrees in something they think are interesting, but they never look at, well, what does that skill pay? I mean, say you do woman studies. Great thing, but is that a career? How do you make $50,000, $80,000, $100,000 a year for the next 20 years if you have a degree in women's studies? I like women, don't get me wrong, but I just don't see. Where are you going to get that? What are you going to make? If say you want the lifestyle of $80,000 a year, you should study what people who make $80,000 a year do and get that degree, because that's. Your degree has a certain value. You should know the value of that degree before you spend 2 years or even 6 weeks getting that degree. 6 weeks is a little different though. But when you talk about people that do 2 to 4 years and put themselves $100,000 in debt and then come out at the other side and said, nobody told me there's no living in this career.
Yeah.
But I owe $1,800 this month in student loans for a job I can't pay. That happened a lot, and particularly when the economy broke, popped a lot of people's bubbles. So whether you're 15 or 50, you want to get a degree, you might want to think about what the value to that degree is. And not only do I love it, but can I support myself on it?
Successful people that are paying their kids college education, and they're paying $250,000, and it's literally breaking them. And I know TV Land, you're saying that's a king's fortune. Well, that's not staying in their hands. That's going out the door. And they probably have 2 or 3 children. And then you wonder why they're upset about society. It's just everything that they've worked for has been taken from them.
You know what? It's good when you go to school. Actually, in high school, actually in 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade, you should have an idea of what you want to be when you get grown. Because I knew I wanted to be at 4. I wanted to be a teacher and I wanted to be a nurse, and I was both at 4 years old, okay? Because, children, they role play, All right, so now, but back then in the 60s and the 50s, that's what they was expecting us to be.
Sure.
Oh, I'm going to say it, black people.
I wanted to be an astronaut.
And teachers.
And then the space program went away.
Love, isn't that right? Because we older than you all, but when they expected for us to be a nurse or a teacher if you was a woman, do you remember? And you all to be working in factories. It was no, profession.
Or the post
in the
office.
50s and 60s, and that's the way it was.
Post office is a good career if you can get in. I failed that test.
The post office.
I worked
Yeah.
for the
A
post
lot of
office
people in
23
Chicago
times, but it was just for
ran the
Christmas.
post office.
Oh, okay.
So now, okay, getting back what I was saying that you got, and what you were saying too, and you
should decide
you got
early.
to decide at an early age. Then when you get to high school, you have a counselor, a career counselor, job counselor they called it back then, but career counselor, and then she can go over with you. All right, and if they don't tell you the 3 things you should know, are you sure? Well, maybe you should have an alternative career. Then let's research it. Let's get on the net and see how much you make. Let's see in the area that I'm going to live in, that I know I'm going to be, is there jobs in that area? Because see, I'm going to tell you, colleges do this. They don't care. They want your money.
Right.
They won't tell you how much it is. They won't even tell you that you can't get a job in that field. And you don't know it till after you graduate, and then you put those resumes, and nobody won't hire you. And then I think these people are very dirty too. This is another thing they do. Well, you got to have experience in that field. How in the hell are you going to get experience if they don't hire you?
You're right.
Okay? I'm serious. They would tell you got to have experience.
Sure.
You got to start with somewhere. See, at first they say, well, you ain't got the education. But a lot of people go on to get the education. So here's another way to block you. Well, you ain't got the experience. Okay, now I heard some people do this. I know, I don't have time to be volunteering. I really don't. Yeah, I got to pay my bills. If you like me, you don't have time to be volunteering. Okay, so now I know a couple professional people. Actually, one was in social work. And he said he got the job. He had to volunteer first. And then he could write down the resume. And then up here they hired him. He's from down south. Then up here hired him. He said sometimes you have to volunteer. Well, if you need money to live, you ain't got time to be volunteering. I think if you go to school and you got your education and they got the job open, it's available, you should be given a chance. Because, see, you want to learn what you had, you want to implement what you had learned in school. You know? Okay, go ahead.
Do you think they should be subsidizing one segment of society and not all segments of society across the 5th CD?
Listen.
Because people that come here from different areas of the world, they immediately get rent vouchers,
They get everything.
and medical and schooling, and then you wonder, who just jumped in front of my line? Who cut me off on the freeway? I mean, don't you get angry at that?
Well, you know what? I don't like it, but it ain't their fault. I'm going to tell you whose fault it is. You're not going to like what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's the government's fault. They don't want to give it to them. Don't they?
Yeah.
This is what they do. In the Twin Cities, they got these nursing pools everywhere. The Africans do. I'm going to tell you who got them. Okay, when I first moved up here in '93, it was the white people. But now the Africans, when they start coming in droves, they got those pools. Somalian, African, you know. Oh, well, they from Africa, but you know what I'm talking about. And guess what? They hire all their families. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah,
And
now
their
they got the
family
child
members.
schools too. Some of them, but not as much as nursing pool. Okay, so the nursing pool, they always get their butts in trouble. And guess what they do? They get them for Medicare fraud. And that's what they get for giving them foreigners the red carpet.
Right.
But you've been living here all your life.
But you can't get
And
nothing.
you cannot get your nursing pool because you're going to have to pay a lot of money, because I tried it. You're going to have to pay a lot of money. You're going to have that unemployment insurance in case somebody, workman comp insurance. You're going to have, all this malpractice, a whole lot of stuff that you don't have. So it's not that simple. But listen, baby, they don't come over here with all that money. Some of them do, but a lot of them don't. Because if it's that good, they would be where they at. Okay,
Right.
so they have to be getting the money from the government. So, because you know what? It's the different organizations, if you hire these diverse people,
You get
you
X
get
amount
extra
of-
money and stuff.
Right.
Okay? And it can be white females too. You get extra, okay? But with these people, I know several pools way back in Washington, D.C., that's right, right under their noses and up here, had to close down because they had Medicare fraud. And let me tell you what those people do, those slickers. See, you know what? People we think they stupid. No, they're not. Those Africans are very, 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 very smart. While you sleeping, they are thinking, baby. What they would do when they lose that pool, they'll wait for a couple of months or maybe a year and open up another one under another family member name, and they be back in business. See what I'm talking about? But we can't get nothing. And I'm gonna tell you the one last thing, because it's supposed to be about Frank, not about Pat, but you know, I love to talk. Now let me
Hey,
tell you
you're
something.
part of the,
But no, for real,
on fire.
they
Keep
shouldn't be getting all like this. And then this is what they'll do. They'll play dumb. They won't even speak to you because some of them on Franklin already said that's what America get when 911 hit. Remember, love? They're shouting on Franklin. That's what they get.
Yeah.
But you got them in your country. They got all the cabs all over, And they,
And all the
this is their
benefits.
business. This is their business, but we can't even get a business. Listen, at the Social Security, that's why I want to play. When I go up there, listen, jam packed. How in the hell they getting a Social Security and they just came from over there? When say they've been 10 years, I still don't see how they get Social Security. And down here, these people are trying for with disability and stuff.
Yep.
And may have seizures and carrying on, and then have blind or whatever, and they'll tell them no. But and then the killer is they working in the Social Security place.
Sure
They
is.
working in the banks.
Sure
Okay.
is.
The welfare place, they'll talk to you like dirt. You're not getting no medical card, you know, and that's the way it goes. So you have to make it your own way. Now that's it. Go ahead, Trey.
Sure. Okay. So what do you think you could do, TV Land, if you had $35,000 worth of benefits given to you?
A lot of things.
There's
do a
a
lot.
lot. I mean,
I could do a lot.
My blood pressure would be lower.
UD, you would say, I'm going to go someplace else and put cash down. And there are a lot of people would say, come on in. That takes care of that problem. And then being able to move to different areas of the city, you know, that eliminates that.
Well, you know what? Speaking of moving and stuff, like I've known people who had such a hard time. They got a UD that they couldn't find no place and stuff. They had to leave Minnesota, had to go to another state. And see, and another thing, while I'm talking, one of the things that I abhor, that and I do not agree with, period. Here's somebody from another country coming up, running for office in our political arena. I mean, they don't even know how to speak English that good, or even if they do. Here, you just came here, and you are allowed to run for office in
our country.
In our country.
Well,
why you can't run for office in your country?
You know,
Yeah.
you just, do you even have to be a citizen to run for office other than the president?
You have to be born in the United States for the presidency. That's the only one that is required to prove it.
So no one is required to be a citizen to run for office.
Say it loud. They can't hear you because
No
I already
one
know
is
it.
required to be a citizen to run in our democratic republic, the United States.
That's a doggone
And
shame.
That's a shame.
And so the inner cities, Minneapolis being one of the most liberal, has decided,
Too liberal.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and as you sow, so shall you reap. And our citizens are being shortchanged by any Johnny come lately. And all of a sudden they just take over the political reins, and all of a sudden, what's going on here? Nothing's getting done. The neighborhood's going to hell.
That's right.
And our taxes are going up, and no one wants to, and the people are leaving the state.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
not-
And those people, you know what? Our people is leaving. Caucasians is leaving too. But those people ain't going nowhere.
Sure.
They started bringing all their family members in, and guess what? And they taking over.
Yep,
Yeah.
because
Is
all
Is
of
this
them
the way
get
they want
together and
you?
vote for
Minnesota,
each other.
Is this the way governor, mayors, bigwigs, this the way y'all want it? You want all of us to leave out, and those people take over, and this will be their state. It looks like it.
Sure do, because we got the highest Somalian organization in the whole country.
It used to be
right here in
Dearborn,
Minnesota.
Michigan, but no, it's not. Now it's here.
It's in Minneapolis.
And you follow the story, they sent back $100 million in daycare fraud money back to Somalia.
From Cedar River said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's $100 million that didn't go to Minnesotan-born kids, black, white, natives. I mean, they stole that money. That's $100 million that was set aside to help all the children in Minnesota.
Right.
And that's just the amount they sent back. That's not the amount they blew
And the media
on themselves.
scrubbed the story. It was on CCO, and I think the Star Tribune had it, and it was scrubbed within 30 minutes.
Yeah. Well, because it made Frank's opponent look bad, and the story disappeared as fast as it came.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
they, the media has an agenda. They used to be called yellow journalism. That means, they had an opinion. Whenever a journalist, and I do a TV show, I'm technically a journalist, I have an opinion. I'm honest about my opinion.
Yeah.
But you ask any journalist that says, well, I don't have an opinion, I just report the truth. What, you're a 40-year-old human being in the United States of America and you ain't picked a political party? You don't know what your view is? now, somebody in that situation is lying. They're either lying to
That's right,
themselves
they're lying.
or they're lying to me.
Lying
I
to
believe
you.
they're lying to me
Lying to you.
because,
Go ahead.
it's all right. But you tell somebody who you voted for. It's honest. It's an honest question. Ask a reporter, who'd you vote for in the last election? Who you voting for in the next one? Well, I can't say. I don't know. Well, what, you can't tell me the truth? I'm supposed to trust what you say? But you can't show me the respect to tell me the truth? So, I mean, most journalists, they have an agenda. And it's unfortunate because it's okay to have an agenda, in my opinion. But I was raised to be honest. My mom didn't say you always had to say what I liked. You better tell me the truth.
Yeah,
You got to be honest.
Yeah.
And then another thing, now those people, okay, so now years ago, me and Love and Art, we went to Florida, okay. And so we got timeshare, that was years ago now. Okay, and they said, well, you don't have to have your, we don't have to run no credit check on because we don't know nothing about you. And they was honest. They said, well, when the foreigners come over here, we can't run nothing on them, so we don't run nothing on nobody. And that was right. They can't
should
run
be.
no thing
You're right.
That's
on
the
them.
solution to your UD.
That's right.
Right.
We're not going to do a credit
can't.
check on them.
That's
It's
right.
Across the board.
That's right. Yeah, they can't. Isn't that something? But they run. They say, "Oh no, you can't get the place because your credit score is too low." Imagine you can't.
And they
get-
knew
how
they
could
wasn't
your
going to give you
credit
the place before they took your application money.
Right.
If you ain't going to give the person, I mean, how you going to take 10 application fees for one apartment? You know you can only give it to one person. So that other, that $350 that you done got from charging 10 people $35, you put that in your pocket.
That should be against the law, right? there.
It should be against the
Still.
law. They should be able to get their money back. If you ain't going to give, if you are not going to give this person the place, give them their application fee back.
Okay, let's go back to these people. Then
That's
we're
an
gonna get
easy
back
law
to-
we can
yeah.
propose for the 5th District, by
Yeah,
the way.
can we-
With Frank in Congress,
Can we?
we will propose that. You run an application fee, the person's denied, the money has to be refunded, and, I don't think it's the end of the world. It's not gonna, we're already $21 trillion in debt. I think we can make the landlord do that.
We got to talk about the safety too. That's
Sure.
next.
And one
Safety.
last thing. Prosperity has gotten a bad word. People here think the government is the solution. And I don't know if anyone's looked around the world, but Venezuela, Colombia, Argentina are all struggling because they're socialist countries. And that's the agenda that
That's what they wanna
the
do.
DFL wants to go.
Socialist, yeah.
And I cannot believe that we're falling for this. This is the reason why I'm in this race. We have to go back to the roots of JFK and forget Lyndon Johnson, JFK. And the 60s Democrats, fair housing, equal opportunity, make yourself self-reliant, get a good job, and and take in another family member. The easiest solution to our housing problem is have 2 or 3 generations in one home. I know it's not the best answer, but it's what they did during the 30s.
Because everybody gets, you can pay. That's how the foreigners do it. Be 20 of them in one house. And the next thing you know, they moving out, they getting them a big house, and they starting their own business.
Right.
Because they work together. And this is what they do. They send their money back home. Yep. And they don't care nothing about being deported. So what? Look how much money they got left waiting for them when they get home. They might have a 4-star hotel. You working? I'm talking about me. Okay, I can work with all of us. We working as nurses and whatnot, and then the one owner got a 4-star hotel back home because he's doing the nursing pool. Why? Because the government gave him startup money, to do it. But let's do this. Let's talk about this safety deal. And since we talking about those people,
What safety deal?
the safety deal that's happening in North Minneapolis now is over south, all these killings and stuff, and nothing is happening. Now, let's go back, because I want Frank a solution of how we going to do this. You got an idea? Okay, look here. For one thing, that African, what was Somalian that shot that woman, that she was getting ready to get married, remember?
Yeah.
Oh, this is in South Minneapolis.
Uh-huh. And look, I ain't heard nothing else about it. Nothing else about it. And when was it about 4 or 5 months ago?
That was
Yeah.
a year and a half.
A year.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. A year ago, we heard nothing else about
And
it.
it took a year for Mike Freeman to
Look into it.
I think, did they even arrest the
They,
gentleman?
they indicted him.
Yeah.
They indicted him?
They indicted
Okay,
him.
they did
But
indict
he
him.
pled, but he did one thing that it was smart. He pled the 5th immediately. A cop shot an unarmed woman who called the police to report a rape.
Yeah,
he dropped her over the driver's thing, and he immediately, once he realized she was unarmed, he pled the fifth, and he never gave him no evidence. That's one of the reasons it took so long. The driver talked, said what happened.
The other police officer.
Yeah, the guy who pulled the trigger, he wised up, and he pled the fifth immediately. You know, the cops tell you you shouldn't plead the fifth because it makes you look guilty. He is guilty as hell, but the cop pled the fifth, and he's still walking around for one reason. He pled the fifth. He isn't admitted to anything. Little example for everybody else. It's okay to plead the fifth immediately. Two, one of the problems in any society is young men got bad tempers and low self-esteem. Those are your problems. Doesn't matter the skin color. I don't care how good of a tan you got. You give me a 19-year-old white kid, a 19-year-old black kid, you're gonna have temper issues, you're gonna have anger issues. You gotta tell them, just calm down.
That's
You
right.
need to respect yourself. Don't worry about, they looked at me the wrong way, they disrespected
right.
me. No. You don't respect yourself. That's why you see other people you think disrespect you. I'm 47 years old. I don't care if you respect me. I'll sleep just fine tonight whether you respect me or not.
That's right.
Because
That's
I
right.
respect myself, and I ain't
That's
gonna
right.
shoot you because I don't care if you respect me.
That's
Your
right.
opinion of me means nothing.
That's
Therefore,
right.
you're safe. Now, you take the 17-year-old Tim, you get a different response.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, trust me, the Minneapolis
You gonna
police.
respect me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you're young. When you're young, think differently. Go ahead, Tim.
Respect gets people killed. Respect ruins your life. You're going to be respected in prison doing a life sentence because you took somebody's life because they looked at you crossways. That happens all the time. We need to learn to respect ourselves and not worry about what anybody else tells you. So all this bullying and stuff, yeah, it's important, but understand something. Bullies are irrelevant if you respect yourself. The look you get on the corner is irrelevant as long as you respect yourself. You don't have to take that life. You don't have to pull that trigger to get respect.
That's right.
Respect yourself, and they can run their mouth all you want. You would still be fine.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people get into a lot of issues and fights because they say, he disrespected me, man. He disrespected me. He called me the N-word. Or he called, back then, they used to fight like hell if you called each other black.
They sure did
Yeah.
when we was coming up.
If you say
when we was
you
coming up, you
black,
better not call.
so-and-so.
You better not say you black. You could be black, but you better not say it. And but you know what? Now I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get back with him. Now look, the thing is, I can't understand. I still can't understand it. You know, people killing themselves because somebody bullying them. I can't say it. Yeah, I can't understand. Let me tell you why. When we was coming up, 'cause I'm still in a different era. When we was coming up, if somebody did so, we fought. Oh yeah, we're not scared of you. That's right. And if you didn't, all the time. And let me tell you something. If you, maybe that's my strong personality now. Now let me tell you, if you did not fight, you're gonna get a whooping by your mother. Ain't that right,
Sure
Jerome?
is.
You
You
gonna
sure
get.
will.
You gonna get.
And you
a
better win when you
whooping.
fight.
You
I would
gonna-
say you did.
So you know not to come in there crying, and you better not be a boy crying. Punk, what the hell you up there crying for, and knock you out? You're not gonna be crying, and if you were scared and crying, you better not tell your parents. Because you know what? They say, I'm not playing. If somebody hits you, better hit them right back. So we grew up in that kind of environment. Both of us live in the projects, so you know projects, you fight every day.
I'm
Yeah.
glad we're talking about this because, you know, I'm fighting for you. You might think of this as a political fight. And on Tuesday, August 14th, I only have to win this one fight, and I can stand up for you. Our city will be neutral, and any issue between the federal government and our city, so we will just go on our merry way. Housing will become more affordable because we will just start to clean up and root out the problems that the current Democrats just keep in place, and they don't really care. And
What you gonna do about UDs? They want to hear it.
we want blanket amnesty.
Okay.
Yeah.
For felons, and we want for applying for a home, and we want blanket amnesty for on the decriminalization of marijuana. You should not be
Penalized for having a
penalized
joint.
or even go to jail ever again.
Oh, if you have them on your record, Frank's bill
Expunged.
will
Will
illuminate
expunge.
them. Yeah, they can
Expunge
expunge them. So, to all the potheads out there, grab Blue Ranch Doritos.
D is for Drake.
D is for Drake. get out there, vote for Drake, D like Dorito, don't forget Election Day, and the one day you just need to get out, do one thing, don't forget to pick up some Blue Ranch Doritos, pick up a little whatever, but Election Day, we can change Minneapolis for the better.
August
with
the
Drake.
14th.
And we got to do about the safety. Now, what you think about they keep shooting, and what can we do in place of that, you know?
The safety
The
net.
safety in North Minneapolis, all the killings and
Oh.
stuff.
You know, I think, you know, guns aren't the problem, because a gun is an
It's not the problem,
inanimate
it's the people.
object. And I know and you're never gonna get the guns off the street.
It's not the guns, it's the people.
But you know what? Like in certain parts of Chicago, you know, even though it's one of the most vicious cities, they have this little thing. It's blue
box.
It's this blue box. If you see something going on, you just hit that, and police is going to immediately come. And see, like they recording, they looking at you, so it can't be nobody just playing and hitting it.
Sure.
Just to keep the police on their toes. Yep. But I feel that that's one of the antidotes that would be necessary to eliminate a lot of the criminal activity that's going on as far as people getting shot and stuck up and raped and stuff. You know, you see somebody getting raped, you just hit that button. Just like that girl who said, oh, she heard somebody getting raped, and she called the police.
And went out
then
there to
that
meet
Som-
her.
And yeah,
And
and
killed
went out there to meet her, and that Somalian cop shot him.
Yep.
And he pleaded the fifth. And so he didn't have to say nothing. Now, I said that to say that we have all of these different foreigners that's running for office. And it's so many of them, and they're all gonna vote for.
And they all stick together,
They
too.
all gonna stick together, just like that girl who's
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, and then see, their laws will be in and yours will be out.
Right.
That's right, because like they talking about, no, when, I'm going to say this, and I'll tell him about the blue light. That's why I wanted, because he might not know about that blue light. But anyway, we come back from Ohio. Here they go. Happy holidays. Even MTN, we couldn't even say Merry Christmas until Trump got in, and y'all holler and scream about the man. At least you can say Merry Christmas. We don't say no Happy Holiday. You know why? Because you converting for what you believe and going to what they believe. Okay, because they
It's a
don't believe
form
in
of
Christ.
bullying.
Yeah.
The Happy Holidays was they bullied the people that believe in Jesus, and they're like, oh, Happy Holidays. I don't believe in Jesus no more. No, it's America. I can believe in Jesus.
I can
You
believe what I want to
yeah.
believe, and you can believe what you want to believe. And listen to this one. And the Jobs was doing the same thing. Somebody working at the bank, I said, you have a holiday? No, they said, we're not going to have no party period this year because they didn't want to say no Christmas. Now
Right.
we kind of missed it, but this is the type of people you letting in. And you better think about that too. You better think about who you're going to let in office, okay? Now, with him, northeast over there, if you go straight down Como, and before you get to that St. Paul, and you go straight down, you will see those blue boxes. Somebody been watching our show, Love, they got the blue boxes just in that area on Como. I seen it a couple of months ago, but that's the only area, you know. So
And one thing, let's talk
Go
about
ahead.
the violence in North Minneapolis. As a North Side guy, I kind of know about it.
oh, no side, okay.
Now, I've always been violence in North Side, as long as I've been alive.
Okay.
One thing, you got to understand, people are touchy. Watch what you do, but to the kids with the guns, I'm talking about like males 30 and younger. Gun ain't gonna get you respect. It's gonna get you prison time. Popping a cap doesn't make you a man. It makes you a pussy. Because you're taking somebody
Exactly.
else's life, and when you get that 20-year sentence in Stillwater, you're gonna know what being a pussy means.
Sure will.
Yeah, because they
You'll
gonna,
be
they gonna
one.
make you a pussy.
Yeah,
You'll be one.
exactly. So you want to be a man? Keep the gun down. Take care of your kids, and just live a positive life. That's what it means to be a man. This don't make you a man. It makes you a punk. And you gotta remind people, you don't have to pull the trigger and pop a cap to prove something.
No, you don't.
I mean, if your life's in danger,
That's
yeah,
something else.
Yeah, but doing a drive-by, and the drive-bys are nuts in the fact that, first of all, you can't hit nothing from a moving vehicle. My bad. It's a bad joke, but
But you can.
Yeah,
you
you
can
end
kill
up hitting the
somebody.
wrong people.
You
You
can
end up
keep-
hitting
that's right, you
kids.
get the wrong
You
people.
end up hitting the wrong house.
And it happens.
Yeah, because
Mrs.
you don't know
Beeks.
what you're doing.
Mrs. Beeks, yeah, Twan Beeks, right in front of her 17-year-old grandchild. Can you imagine?
That stopped at the intersection.
Right in front of her granddaughter. Got killed driving, they were just shoot, and then some little boy, he was doing 2 or 3 over there by Laurie and peeing down there. But all right, now time is you know what, you are going to see your last remark. But we got to do this every week because now, before we know it, August 14th.
Right.
And you know what? So
that
start
is the
talking
election.
now. It's
August
time.
14th, if I win, I will be your next congressman. And I'm asking for your support. I've lived here 5 generations. I have an invested stake in this community. I've surrounded myself with good people, honest people. And that's what I'm going to do when I go to Washington. And it doesn't matter if I'm only 1 term, or, you know, I don't want to go more than 3. I just want to bring respect back to our community and change the direction a little bit so that we're not a murder capital.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have to be that way. And I ask for your vote Tuesday, August 14th, please. One day.
Tell them the whole thing you got. What, North Minneapolis, South, and what else?
We want to vocational training immediately, 6-week training, decriminalization of marijuana. We want to
UD amnesty.
UD amnesty. The blue light sounds like a really good
Yeah.
idea.
Safety.
Absolutely.
Oh, he wants to reform welfare and the fact that you up the income caps.
Oh, yeah.
You also want to make it one person's income, not household income. We want to bring families together. The household income cap of $33,000 rips American families apart right here in Minneapolis, right here in the 5th District and around the country.
Phone number real quick.
Frank will end
Yeah,
that.
just www.frankdrake.com. That's my website. You
Say
can
it
find
again.
it frankdrake.com.
Okay.
Drake for frankdrake.com, and you'll find all the information, what we're talking about. You can chime in. It's open to anybody. I get a lot of haters out there, but we always answer their questions.
So Frank, what areas do you
Yeah, what's the area? That's what I was doing.
Oh,
do you
the
cover?
5th CD.
What is it? Real quick, because almost time to
sure,
go.
sure. It's the Minneapolis Congressional District.
Yeah.
All Minneapolis, Richfield, St. Louis Park, East Edina, Robbinsdale, Crystal New Hope, Fridley, Columbia Heights, Brooklyn Center, and the bases of
All of that is your.
and
Yeah.
parts of Golden Valley, and
What about Plymouth?
and part of Medicine Lake.
Medicine Lake.
Yep.
Okay, so now thank you, Frank. Thank you.
Pat. God bless you.
God bless
I love
you.
you.
I love you, baby.
Okay.
God bless you, Tim.
Tim, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Love you
Brother
too.
Love, I love you too.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Don't forget to subscribe and tune in next week.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
subscribe.
don't forget to vote.
Yeah, okay.
You got to vote.
And then TV Land subscribe to the YouTube for the moving forward with the different makers. Okay, and questions, comments, concerns, you can call me 763-703-0546, 763-703-0546. My name is Patrice Maria Love, and my husband, Brother Love, and you know, these are the difference makers.
Thank you.
You all are making a difference. That's the name of the show. Moving forward with the difference makers.
Yes.
So remember, when you vote, you're voting for a difference maker that's going to change your life.
Right.
And make it
Okay,
better.
you will have a brighter
We
tomorrow.
need your support.
We need your support
Your vote is more important than the other people's vote. It's your vote.
because you live in the district. All right, so here we go. Move forward. God bless you. We love you. And power to the people.
And
Hotel.
may the awareness of the Almighty Eternal be constantly demonstrated through you.
God bless you.
Peace.
God bless you, and peace be with your family.
Thank you.
Okay, honey, we got 37 seconds left.
Tim,
Oh,
thank you for being here.
Oh, not a problem.
Brother
Oh,
Love,
Yeah, it's a pleasure being here with you, my
thank
friend.
you so much.
in the last few seconds, a football coach over at Patrick Henry High School always told me 9/10 of life is showing up. Show up to vote, show up for your life. It's the only thing that matters. You don't have to be the best, you just have to be the best person that showed up.
There you
Very
go.
much.
And it shows.
Thank you, MTM.
Yeah, thank you, MTM. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Val.